Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy bringing you another Star Citizen video. Today I thought we'd bring you a little bit more Star Citizen news, what's going on, the Roadmap Roundup, etc. There's not a whole lot really going on with the Roadmap Roundup today, but let's talk about what they have posted anyways. So on the progress tracker, they have a few deliverables that they have talked about here. They've got the proximity mine. They're going to implement the proximity mines to help, proximity mines into the game, which are going to be explosives that are defined with an area trigger zone. So when someone or something enters that zone, the trigger is tripped and the mine explodes. Then they have Mel Specialist Heavy RRS Armor. So they're creating an RRS Specialist Heavy Armor set, including its material variants. We can go a little bit more into that here in a little bit. On the release view, they took hacking tech off of Q3, and it's now been moved to Q4, so 3.16 is when we'll first get hacking gameplay. So it was probably a little bit too good to be true that we would see some hacking going on in the verse in 3.15 along with everything else that they have planned for that particular patch. Like I said, it's a little upsetting, but you know, it is what it is, and we just kind of have to deal with it, right? So, what else can we take a look at for the roadmap? In the release view, of course, in 3.14, which should come out, I'm going to guess before the end of this week. You've got Crusader, Orison, Landing Zone, the Power Management version 2, which deals with capacitors and stuff. You've got radar scanning and ping, which is actually a really good upgrade in my opinion. Missiles, guidance and control rework. That's actually pretty fun and useful. I really, I'm liking missile operator mode so far. Then you also have the Law System version 2, Surrender. I was going to test this out. I even got a crime stat 5 earlier today on the PTU, and then they all of a sudden kicked me off so that they could update the PTU. When I got back on, I didn't have a crime stat, so I couldn't test the surrender mechanics out. Canvas sliced ship HUDs, which is actually much improvement over the previous HUDs. The RSI Constellation Taurus, I've only experimented a little bit with it. I haven't really made any cargo runs with it yet. And then Planetary Volumetric Clouds version 1, which is pretty, but still, in my opinion, needs a little work. It still does look kind of pretty, though. So in 3.15, what can we expect in quarter 3? Remember, this should take place around CitizenCon, around that area of, October. So we've got FPS radar and scanning. These are all tentative, by the way. There's nothing that's locked in for sure. Then you have the actor feature team working on personal inventory, which has been worked on a million times. You've got healing tier 0, so we'll get some interesting gameplay with the healing. Then we have player bombs, so we'll be able to drop bombs in our A2 because that's also going to be in 3.15 supposedly. NPC healing, so they will be able to heal other players and NPCs. So that could be cool. The Aegis Redeemer. People have been looking forward of this ship for a long time. I'm gonna really look forward to seeing how it competes in multiplayer type roles. I want to see how well it works. And then the A2, like I said, this is the big bomber dropping those size 10 bombs. We're gonna get it in 3.15. Then you've got the Crusader Ares Starfighter Ion, a Crusader Ares Starfighter Inferno. These are both the heavy fighters from Crusader that will have one gun on each of them, size 7s. So on the Inferno, it's a size 7 minigun or Gatling gun, and on the Ion is going to be a size 7 energy laser gun. So laser cannon, I should say. So one's going to be bypassing the shields, while the other one is going to be doing a massive amounts of reproduced energies damage. So it should have a pretty good fire rate, and of course it probably has a pretty big cooldown too. We'll have to see how those turn out. with the current meta of the game in 3.14 up to 3.15. So the Grey Cat multi-tool healing attachment will also come into play, as well as the Crew Life medical tool, which will be a specialized medical gun you can use to give people, healing. Of course, like I said, you've got the Bearing size 7 laser cannon and the Bearing size 7 ballistic Gatling that we'll see. Those will be bespoke to those two big ships, or heavy ships, I should say, heavy fighters. Ship interior object container streaming will also come in 3.15. What do we have to look forward to for 3.16? Orson version 2, weapon charge and drain tier 0, player slides, so you'll be able to slide your character along, actor feature EVA tier 2, a new prone mechanic that they're going to work on, so prone won't be so blah. Actor tech physicalized weapon handling, that should improve the way that it looks like weapons are being used. Salvage tier 0, I wonder if that doesn't get bumped back to 3.17. Hopefully not. Hacking, which we talked about earlier, is going to be in 3.16 now. 0G push and pull is finally going to make an appearance in 3.16. The Miss Cole C, again, another one that's finally going to make its appearance in 3.16. I swear you're going to have multiple systems in order for this thing to be viable, because it's going to carry so much cargo. Then you also have ship shield emitters, which will be on the bigger ships. Smaller ships will only have one emitter. The bigger ships will have multiple. And the Grey Cat multi-tool salvage attachment, so you'll be able to strip components and armor and material off of wreckage, supposedly. Then you'll have the dynamic door alignments for vehicles, so the Caterpillar will finally have doors that will go down to the floor, and doors, ramps, etc. will open up to the ground and not below it or above it. Origin M50 engine swapping, so you'll be able to swap out the bespoke engines for the M50. I don't know what that's going to bring to that particular ship, but it'll be interesting, to say the least. So let's quickly go over 3.17 before we talk about what they have started doing on the sprint reports. So 3.17 should have homestead outposts, independent and outlaw, and then they're going to have the hangar manager app, so we should get some persistent hangars, as it says right below that on the walkthrough here, the release view. And then there's cutting tier 2. Player interaction experience, they're going to improve that a little bit. And then the RSI Scorpius, which is the heavy fighter they announced during Fleet Week this year. 4 size 3 pilot run guns and 4 size 3 gunner, I guess co-pilot run guns. So that'll be pretty neat ship, and it will be even more devastating than we originally thought, now that the turret gunners have a little bit more, I guess, excitement, a little more ammo maybe, or whatever you want to call it. And then you have the Miss Cole A that's also supposed to make an appearance in 3.17. Let's go into the sprint reports. So the sprints that have concluded: the Basilisk Advocacy Undersuit, 2 devs worked on that. 2 devs also worked on the cybernetics concept. So looks like we're starting to get out there in the deep end of health gameplay. If you lose a limb or something, you can get a cybernetic replacement or something. Then there's gameplay stats service. 1 dev worked on that. 6 devs worked on the generic ship screens and UI. 1 dev worked on the inventory system. 3 devs worked on mounted guns, which, by the way, in 3.14 you'll be able to see some of these mounted guns outside some of these stations and outposts on Hurston and some of the other places. So it's pretty neat. The multi-tool healing attachment, 4 devs finished work on that. 6 devs finished work on radar scanning and ping. And then 5 devs finished work on the RSI Bingle. So that's exciting that the Bingle is done according to this, at least whatever sprint they had on it. Sprints that they have started on: they want to adapt the spawn closets to support persistent NPC spawning. They got 1 dev working on that. 2 devs working on inventory unstow, 1 dev working on item port mod API, 4 devs working on laser trip mines, and another 4 devs working on the player interaction experience, Tier 1, lockers, and inventory. Then 3 devs are working on quantum travel experience, and 3 devs are working on the shard manager, which means server meshing. It's on the way, guys. It's coming. It'll be here. They've already started the sprint on it. That's really fantastic news. So guys, what do you think about the news this week for, everything? What do you think about the Roadmap Roundup, the sprints that they've started on, the sprints that they've completed? Let me know your thoughts down below with comments. Thank you for watching all the videos here recently. Make sure you hit that like button and that subscribe button. It really helps me on the algorithm, so I'll appear a little higher. Also, if you want to contribute to the channel, you can do that by a number of different ways. You can watch the ads all the way through or click on them, but it helps a little bit more if you go to my Patreon or become a member of my YouTube members. You can become a member for just $1. I'll have that information in the description of the video. If you're looking for an org, my org is Texas, and we're always looking for new recruits. Doesn't matter if you're an actual Texan, we'll make you into one. So if you want to join the org, that information will be listed down below as well. And if you're new to Star Citizen, it looks like a game you might be interested in getting involved with, you can definitely do that. Use my referral code, which I will have listed here in the bottom of this video and in the description of the video. You'll be able to use that and get 5,000 bonus credits when you join. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you guys out in the verse.